we're here this evening is to show off the V-Synth GT. And the GT is one of my very favorite instruments, and when it first came out, I was like so into it, because it's really, really like, you know, it's like using silly putty with sound. You can really do pretty much anything, and stretch sounds, and do all kinds of cool stuff. And then when this GT came out, it kind of blew the whole thing to the roof. Because now you can do the whole stretching sound thing, but you can also use your voice, and you can do like realistic instruments really well and get the sound kind of between the notes. So I'm going to show you some of the sounds I made for Roland recently. And these sounds I actually made before, you know, while this machine was still kind of in a beta mode, shall we say. So I was one of the first ones to get my hands on this and actually start to program it. So I'm just going to share with you some of the things that I did, so you can get the feel for what's going on inside the GT. So here we go. First one is just a demonstration of like the choir sound that you can achieve on the instrument. So this is it. You can also do, like, you can do crazy stuff with the voice. Like, one of the cool things I discovered was I could make like a bassoon lead that was controlled by the voice, or a bassoon. First of all, I'll show you the bassoon lead. Now this is a bassoon waveform that's being used to create this sound, and then I'm going to control the bassoon sound with the voice. So two separate sounds. Check this out. First the lead. So that's the lead. That's a bassoon sound. Run through some of the GT processing and just gave it a little bit of a kick. Now this is the bassoon as triggered by my voice. Alright, so we have like talking bassoon sounds. Oh, this is a very cool one. I got, as long as I'm on the talking sounds. The whole thing I discovered on this machine was the first keyboard instrument that I found that I could actually make the instruments sound like they were talking, and the whole idea really like blew my mind. So after I made the bassoon one, I tried to make a trumpet talk. So this is the result. So, you know, the whole voice thing, the talking thing is really, really awesome. And you know, as I say, I was one of the first people to have this machine and start to turn knobs on it, to program it. And all this was done, you know, there's still more to do. It's tricky over there. There's still more parameters that have come out since, and so I'm looking forward to getting home and having some time to play with some more knobs and come up with all the different talking instruments. But in addition to that, of course, you know, I said something about acoustic instruments, and I should play that before I move along here. There's a terrific, there's all kinds of sounds, but a standout to me is like the violin sound, because it sounds really amazing. And I can use it like a pedal or a controller to kind of slide between the notes. So check this out for one second. This is the V-Synth GT violin. But notice the sliding. That's the important thing. I mean, some other instruments could do this, but to do this, you hear it's like gliding. That's the real trick. So the next trick that we're going to do is play one of the tunes from one of my solo albums. I think I'm on the right page here. I think I am. We're going to play a song called "Screaming Head," and thanks. And it really features the GT big time, because I think, you know, because a lot of you are here to see this instrument. Before we start the piece, let me just kind of cue you into what's going on. The first couple of pieces that Rod and I played were very much done, well, it's basically or completely live. Over the Edge, the first piece is done completely live on the Phantom X8 and the drums. There's no sequences, there's no nothing, there's no magic boxes, no extra effects. The second song I actually pulled out, there's a feature on the Phantom X8 where you can press a pad and it can play a note or it can trigger a loop or whatever, and I triggered a loop so I could then play some lead. And of course I moved over to the GT to play some air hoo stuff and in between and all this kind of stuff. But on this song we're going to use some backing tracks because we left the rest of the band, what band? Back in the US. But I'm going to play like the main parts on the GT Live, and just so you hear the nature of what you're going to be hearing me play, so you know what the difference is. Basically, there's like some very heavy kind of stuff, and there's, you know, very cool lead sounds. Matter of fact, the sound of my continuum that I use with Dream Theater is completely a V-Synth. It's a rack V-Synth, and that makes the whole like wild, cool sound. So you know, stuff like that. So I think we're gonna play the